Welcome to sewing class. This is Annette Julie, and today we're learning how to make a lapped zipper sample. So we have some of the supplies that you're going to need. A 5, 6, or 7-inch coil zipper. Some hand sewing needles and thread and wax if you have it. Then you're going to need 2 swatches that are 5 inches wide and 10 inches long. I've labeled them 5 by 10 with the lengthwise grain parallel to the selvage edge. I've also labeled them wrong side and right side, even muslin, though it looks, pretty much the same. Just label one side wrong side and one side's right side. Then also on the wrong side, go ahead and draw a line the full length of your swatch and make that 1 1/4 inch from the edge. Okay, go ahead and draw that line, and that's on the wrong side of your fabric. Now take your 2 swatches and take the right sides, which would have a print. If this was some fabric for a dress or a pant, that would have a print on the right side, and we'll put them together right side to right side. Line up the corners. Top and bottom. And let's place a pin. Okay, so we placed a pin top, bottom, middle. This is going to be where the top of the zipper is going to go, up here. And we down here, we'll label this bottom. And we have our 1 1/4 inch line away from our edge. This is parallel to our selvage edge. Now you're going to go ahead and you're going to take your zipper, and I want you to line it up matching the muslin that's ripped to the top of the zipper tape. And then go ahead and mark where that stopper is. Give a little mark on that line. There's that stopper. I just picked the middle. I'm marking where it is. Now we know this is where you're going to switch the type of stitch you're going to do. So we're going to do a basting stitch the full length down till we come to where the stopper is. So if our zipper's like this, right, we'll be doing a basting stitch here on the machine, then a back stitch, and then a regular stitch to the bottom. We'll also be starting and stopping with the back stitch. Okay, that's before we put the zipper in. So let's go ahead and start at the top here with our back stitch. And right now I have my dial for my stitch length at 2.5. I'm not going to change it until the basting stitch, until after I do a little back stitch up there at the top. Okay, let's go ahead and put our presser foot down. Get right on top of that line. Needle down. Now we'll go forward a couple stitches. 1, 2, you can walk these back. 1 and 2. Now I'm going to change my dial over here for my stitch length, and I'm going to change that to 4 on my machine. And the dial is closest to my right hand over here. Now we're going to do the basting stitch. This would be the full length of the zipper, and then we're approaching where the stopper is marked. And right when we get to where that stopper is marked, we are going to stop, and we're going to change our stitch length back to 2.5. Do a little back stitch right in the middle of that seam. 1, 2, 1, 2, and now we'll continue at the stitch length of 2.5 to the bottom. 2.5 means we get 10 to 12 stitches per inch. And now we're coming to the bottom and we're finishing with a back stitch. And the basting stitch is a much larger stitch. You might get 4 to 5 stitches per inch. So here is our regular stitch. Here's our basting stitch. And I'm going to go ahead and trim these threads up here at the top and the bottom, get rid of them both. This is where we have the stopper. From here to here, this is our regular stitch. This is at 2.5, okay? Then from here up, the full length of that zipper. We're going to have our machine turned at 4, and this is going to be a basting for a much larger stitch that we're going to end up removing. Now, after you've completed that, and if you want to write that on for yourself, you're more than welcome to, but that's just for you guys. You don't need it. Let's go ahead and press this open. Okay, get to your ironing board. Give it a good press. You're pressing open your 1 1/4 inch seam allowance. Your iron is on the hot setting and you have steam. Now we've pressed that open. That's the end of step 1. I look forward to seeing you in step 2.